apologize for taking your time. The time for prayer here was supposed to be 1:30, between 1:30 and 1:40, but there was an event here, and so the prayer started very late. So that's the reason why we are starting just now. I hope you can forgive me. So
So we can
I want
forgive
to
you,
share
but
my
raise up
screen
your
now.
voice.
I want to share my screen now.
Okay.
Uh, Let me know if you can see my screen.
So he's here. We can see. I can see your screen, and I believe everyone
Okay.
can see that as well.
Okay, cool. So the topic here is talking about the three typography mistakes making your business look unprofessional. So, the speaker, my name is Abdurrahman Hassan. A lot of people know me as the Hassan Geek. So, I'm a multidisciplinary designer and I'm the creative director at Vertex Technology. So, aside that, I've worked with about 6 companies over different continents. I've worked with Arabs, I've worked with Asians, I've worked with Americans, I've also worked with Indians and Pakistanis as well as Nigerians. So it has given me a great insight into how design works over different cultures. So basically, that's me. So starting with, I want you to take a look at this design. So just take a look at this design and what is your first impression seeing this design? I think somebody can just somebody can just speak or like, what is your first impression of this design?
To me, it is blunt. As I said, everyone is muted, so you can only
Oh,
communicate
okay,
on
okay,
chat.
okay.
Yeah.
So then how about the second one? This is the first one, and this is the second one. So basically, you can see that the second one is much more appealing than the first one that has a lot of text and the arrangement is a little bit wobbly compared to the second one. So you can see that the second one is more clearer and looks more organized. Yeah, it looks more organized. So people judge. So this is where I'm going to start from. People judge a business in seconds, like just the way you've judged this designer. If you have access to the two brands that are displayed, you are definitely going to patronize the second one. So people judge your business in seconds based on how your design looks, how you so your fonts are speaking before your words or even the images are speaking. The type of font that you use and the type of typography that you use in your business says a lot about the personality of the business. And people judge your business based on what they perceive, the first impression that they have of the business. So now let's have a few
Abraham,
boring
one
minutes.
minute. Sorry for the
Yeah.
interruption. If you know you don't have a background noise and you want me to give you a mic, you can raise up your hand and I will give you the mic. So you can talk directly to the instructor. But if you know you don't have a background noise, then you can just signify, then I will give you the mic. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now let's have a few boring minutes and let's learn some jargons. I promise it's going to be a little bit fun. It might be a little bit boring too. So we have what we call type. What do we call type? When we say type in design, a lot of people say typography. So, but type basically, typography, type form, typefaces, type basically in design is the form in which characters are made to look. And when I talk about characters, I mean the A, B, C, D, the one, two, three, and the special characters. So the form in which they are built or made to look, that is what we call type. Now, the difference between a typeface and a font. When we say typeface, I mean uh, a name given to like a font. We have everybody knows Montserrat. A lot of people, let me say, a lot of people knows Montserrat, or a lot of people knows Arial. So Arial itself, or Montserrat generally, just Montserrat is a typeface. Now, a font is now a specific weight or a specific style within a typeface. meaning where we have area bold, we have Montserrat bold, Montserrat regular, Montserrat italic. It's a font of Montserrat. So again, Montserrat is the typeface, and Montserrat bold, Montserrat regular, Montserrat italic is the font. I hope you understand that. Yeah. I don't know if it's me. Okay, yeah.
There's a
Thank you.
response in the chat room, yeah.
Okay. So now I want to just show you the different types of fonts that we have. We have what we call a serif. What is a serif? See, forget the name, forget the whole definition. Wherever you see a font that has all these jaga jaga at the end, these strokes at the end, just know that it is what? It is a serif. That's what we call a serif font. And an example of a serif font is Linotype G dot. Now, serif fonts are outdated. If you are running a modern brand, I don't expect you to use serif fonts. Serif fonts are majorly used for like traditional projects. So if you are running a brand that has been like 20, 30, 40 years, so you can use serif fonts for it. Now, the second one is the sans serif. Sans in French means no. So no serif, meaning no stroke. So you will see from here that the H does not have any stroke here, as opposed to the first one, which is a serif that has stroke. So that is just the difference. Now, sans serif fonts are the fonts that are used modernly nowadays. You see them on your phone. You see all these fonts that are used to write your names on this chart from PowerX Online Academy, the type of font that is a sans serif. So it is cleaner and it is modern. That is why we use it. And an example is Helvetica. An example is the Montserrat that we use. An example is Arial. So another one is the slab serif. Now, what is the difference? A slab serif, you see that a slab serif also has this stroke at the end. Now, what is the difference between a slab serif and a sans serif? Basically, a sans serif looks more robust. Like it looks more robust, or like it looks more robust than the serif. So you see the serif, it is not robust, but for the slab serif, you see that it is robust. Now the self serif is used, when you have like something that is robust, maybe you are running an auto company, like for cars, for example, and you want to be bold. So you can use this type of font for it. Now, an example is Rockwell. Now, another one is display. The display font is any font that doesn't fall into this category: slab, sans serif, serif, and script. Any font that does not fall into this category is called what? Is called a display font. An example is Impact. And display fonts are majorly eye-catching and they are used for display to draw emphasis. Then we have a brush script. We have a script font. So a script font, just like handwritten, is you will say it looks handwritten, it looks calligraphic. So that is a script font. And an example is brush script. Now we have the monospace where we have equal numbers between uh, lines of text. You see, the space between A and IREP and monospace are the same. So that is what we call a monospace letters, a monospace typeface or a monospace font. So an example is Korean. Now we have the black letter. The black letter is, let me say, the typeface or the style that was used in the olden days during during the reign of the Queen Elizabeth, King George, and stuff. So it's the one that's used to write letters. So they say that there's ugly in beauty. There's ugliness in beauty, or there's beauty in ugliness. I don't know how to say it. So this font, you are not even supposed to move close to it. But if there's one particular company, Deadly Water. They sell water, but they don't sell it in like water bottles. They don't sell it in nylons. They sell it like in cans and in like all this wine packaging. So Deadly Water. So they use this type of font for their brand. And Deadly Water, they use this type of font because they've been in the company for about a long time now. And it's also very expensive. So it shows that royalty. It shows that lineage, that royalty from uh, the brand personality. Now we have webdings and wingdings. I'm going to spell it in the chat room. Webdings and wingdings. So basically, this type of font are what is called the symbol fonts. So this font, if you input something, instead of it to show the letters, instead of it to show A, B, C, D, it's not going to show any letter. It's just going to show symbols. So these are called webdings and wingdings, or you just say symbol typefaces. Then okay, we are done with like the type of fonts. Now I want to just show you three I said jargon, three jargons that you are supposed to know. We have kerning. What is kerning? Kerning is the space between each letters, the space between individual characters in a word, individual characters in a word. That is what is called kerning. And the difference with the space between C and O and O and L, L and I and N and apostrophe. So that is what is called kerning. Now, the kerning is the individual spacing between characters in a word. Please do not forget. Then we have tracking. So as opposed to individual spacing, tracking is the overall spacing in a word. That is the overall spacing between C and this apostrophe. The spacing, that is what is called tracking. Now, one rule here, one rule. So if you have a designer that's working for you, or you're the one that's designing for your company, so always make sure that you do not increase the tracking of small letters. If you are using sentence cases, something like this, like capital letter C and the other ones are small letters, and the other ones are small letters. So always make sure that you do not increase the spacing. Yeah, please give me a moment.
So also again, if you know you don't have a background noise and you want me to give you the mic so that you're able to talk to the instructor, just raise up your hand and I will give you the mic.
Okay, sorry about that. So as I was saying, tracking, do not increase the tracking of sentence cases. It's like an unwritten rule in design because it makes your font looks bad. It makes it look very bad. So if you have to increase the tracking of your word or your font, make sure it is in all caps. Make sure it is in what it is in all caps. That is that. Then lastly, we have okay, sorry. Thirdly, we have glyphs and ligatures. So any font that I use, I'm going to skip all the edits so that it doesn't become too much, all the definitions and So any font that you see that has all this extra design that goes like this and all like that is what we call what a glyph. Is what we call a glyph. And the font itself, the type of font itself, you can say use a font that has a glyph or use a font that has a ligature. So you can use it interchangeably. So when L and I join together is to form, you see, L and I is to form a glyph. Now, and the joining, the process of it joining is what is called a ligature. So you can use them interchangeably. You can either call it a glyph or you can call it a ligature. I hope we're still following. Please, if you're still following, you can react or you can say something.
Yes, sure. Following. Yeah.
Tamam. So we have a widow. What do we call a widow? So when you have lines of text, like these three lines, for example, when you have a single word at the beginning, at the top, when you have a single word at the top, it's called what? It's called a widow. So when you are designing, it is fine for you to use a widow. You can use a widow. You can use a widow. Like for example, look at my heading here. The is standing alone. So that is called a widow. Now moving on, we have an orphan. So what is called an orphan? An orphan is the only word standing alone at the end of a sentence. It's standing alone at the end of a paragraph or a sentence. So in design, always try as much as possible to stay away from orphans. That's another thing I want you to lock in. The first one that I said is that do not increase the tracking of sentence cases. Now, secondly, always try as much as possible to stay away from orphans. If your designer has to like have one word at the bottom, let it be like at least two or three words and not just one, because it makes your text look bad. So and often stands alone at the end of a sentence or at the end of lines of paragraphs. Now we have the drop cap, which is this if you are writing, if you are into editorial. So I'm just saying that. So lastly, I'm going to talk about the old style figures. The old style figures. So I've seen designs where they use old style figures, where you have the dancing letters. I call it dancing letters. So one, two, three, you see how they are dancing and they are not on the straight line. See, if you are designing for your business, I would advise that you stay away from old style figures. You stay away from old style figures because it doesn't make your brand look serious. It makes it look like, do these people even know what they are doing? Why are the numbers dancing? That's the kind of personality that this kind of font has. I hope you understand. Are we still following? Hello. Okay, thank you. Okay, now that we are done with all the jargons and stuff, so we understand some basic typography rules now. So I think you can even like pass as a designer right now. So I'll take some things again. Number one, do not increase the kerning of sentence cases. If you have to increase the kerning of the tracking of sentence cases, always make sure that they are all caps if you have to increase it. Then secondly, try to stay away from orphans when you are designing. An orphan is a word that stands alone at the end of a sentence. Try as much as possible to stay away from it. It doesn't make your writing, like when you design your text, it doesn't make it look good. And thirdly, try as much as possible to stay away from old style figures. Old style figures are when you write numerals and then uh, they are dancing. So you stay away from old style figures. Now, let's talk about the three typography mistakes that makes your business look unprofessional. Yeah. So the first mistake that you make is you use too many fonts. So when you use too many fonts in your design, it makes your design look bad. For example, you use one font for the heading, another for the body, another for the price, another for the CTA. Now, I'm talking about using different typefaces now. You use Montserrat for the heading, you use BroScript for the body, you use Nonito for the price, for the CTA, you went ahead to use Arial. So why is it unprofessional? Like, why does it make your brand look bad? Why does it hurt your brand? The first one is that there's no consistency. People cannot recognize your design. People cannot recognize your brand. We all know how MTN design looks. Even if you see it from afar, they have one specific font they use. The same thing that has to do with Apple as a product. If you are conversant with Apple product, you will see they use like a specific font for the heading and a specific font for the body. And that is how your brand should be. So henceforth, if you are using more than two, three, four fonts for your brand, ditch two and stick with just two. So you can use one for the heading, one for the body. So how do you fix this problem? Because I cannot talk about the problem without giving you a fix. So how do you fix it? The first one is you follow the two font rule. Follow the two font rule. What is the two font rule? The two font rule is you have two fonts. You have two fonts. You use one for the heading, and then you use one for what? For the body text, where you have a lot of text. You use one for the body text. One for the heading. Now the heading fonts can now be sans serif, it might be serif, it might be broad script, it might be a display font. Do you understand? But for the body text, personally, I'm going to recommend that you use sans serif fonts, modern fonts. Examples are like Inter, or like Poppins, or like Montserrat, or like Nonito. Examples are like DM Sans, Creator Display, for example. Now, if you have, if you follow these two rules, just have one font that is fine, that is very, very good for your editing, and have one font for your body text. Colors. Or if you feel that you might not be able to control or you might not be able to mix the two together, stick to one typeface. Stick to one typeface and use different fonts within that typeface. Like you just stick to, okay, our brand first is Poppins. Now for edits, I can use Poppins bold. For body, I can use Poppins regular, oh, Poppins semi bold. I hope you understand. Hello. Okay, cool. Thank you. So secondly, the second is that you have four fonts pairing and hierarchy. You are not pairing your fonts well. So the problem that you have here is that everything on the design, they look the same. Even the headings, you cannot tell the headings away from the body text, away from the price, away from the city, because they all have the same size, they have the same weight, and they have the same color. Now, another mistake that we make as a business owner when we are designing is, okay, our brand color is green, right? Now we tend to use all green for the design. No, that is wrong. So, which brings me back to the fourth principle or the fifth principle, that you normalize the usage of what? Neutral colors. Normalize the usage of neutral colors. And what are neutral colors? Normalize the usage of neutral colors. What are neutral colors? Neutral colors are black, white, and ash. My brand color, my business, like the brand color for my design agency is blue. So as you can see in this slide, it is blue, but you don't see blue everywhere. You can see ash, you can see white, you can see black, and you just see blue. That is subtle. And that is how you use it. Because your brand color is green doesn't mean that all your designer has to be green. Just is subtle, like make it subtle, like 30-70. Your brand color should be like 30%, and then you use neutral colors to complement it. It makes your design look better. Now, another thing is always make sure that you make the important things look important. You make the important things look important. Like you make the important things, you make them bigger. You make people see it at first because customers do not read. Clients or audience, your audience are not reading, they are scanning. So you make the important, what you want them to see first, or what you want them to, that is most important, the message you are trying to pass, you make it bigger or you make it bolder for them to see at first. So, like for example, 50% off discount should be bigger than terms and conditions apply. Are we following? Exactly.
Oh, sure, 100%.
Okay, cool. Now, the last mistake that I'm going to say here is you are ignoring readability. You are ignoring readability. The problem you have, there is tiny text in your design, there's tiny text, your spacing is not tight, your spacing is tight, you have decorative font everywhere, and then there is low contrast. So see, when your design starts to look jam-packed, just try reduce the size and space it. That's going to fix the problem. Reduce the size and space it. Now let's take for example, in the two designs that I showed you earlier, look at this. We have a lot of information here. How many fonts? Let's count. One, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 fonts here. Now, for this one, let's count. How many fonts? Plus one for the heading, and the same typeface for the body. Now you can see what I'm saying. Just choose one for the heading and one for the body. So, and then you can see that that's the reason why this looks better. Why this looks better. Now, this design could even be better if they had introduced neutral color. Like these services can be the purple, the can be the pink, and this by this can be black. This one black, 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 black. So it will have made the design even more eye-catching than it having the same color all through. So that's what I'm saying. So in this design, they prioritize readability. So for your flyer design for your business, make sure you cut down on your content. Do not put a lot of content in your flyers because why? The attention span of an average uh scroller on Instagram, Facebook is 8 seconds. So if you cannot pass your message in 8 seconds, you cannot catch their attention in 8 seconds, just forget it. They scroll to another post. So you reduce your content and then you you optimize your content for just the one that is important. Now, how do you fix this? You choose readable fonts, just like I said. Choose sans serif fonts. Use proper spacing. Space your work very well. Avoid using all caps. I've seen design where I will see all caps. What is all caps? All caps is when you have capital letters everywhere. Avoid using all caps everywhere. Avoid using long paragraphs and avoid using display or fancy fonts for body text. For your body text, just use sans serif. For your body text, just use sans serif. Now, the key to having a typography. So I want somebody to read this, please. I want somebody to read this.
So if you want to read, can you kindly signify? Then I can give you the mic.
Okay. If you don't have anyone, so maybe I'll just read myself. So is it something you would like to read, or would you rather have me spaces and highlight? You see that even as you are following with me, you do not want to read everything. Because why? Because it is jam-packed. Now check the next slide. Is this something you would like to read, or would you rather have me space it and highlight what is exactly I want you to read? You see that you are still following up to some point. Why? Because there is correct alignment here. The text is spaced, is aligned to the left, and uh the average human eye, except for the Arabs, we read from left to right. The average human eye reads from what? Left to right. Now let's look at this slide now. Is this something you would like to read? Or would you rather have me space it and highlight what it is exactly I want you to read here? You can see the text are way too much to be centered. You have been disoriented and you seem uninterested, right? So now you see, how about now? You see that your text is now you spaced it and is much more readable. And you can see that there's a bolder part of it here that's showing the importance. So that is how spacing your design or spacing your text. That is how it can come in handy. That is how it can help your company or it can help your business. So instead of having just the text everywhere, you just slam everything everywhere. Make sure you space them and then you reduce the content. Remove what is not needed from it. Let your let the lot of text be in your caption. Let it be in your caption instead of being on the design. Now, the three ingredients that you have to making your text attractive and readable is hierarchy, correct alignment, and spacing. Now, I'm still going to say something about alignment is that. So if you want to use center alignment, make sure that your text is not more than 4, 5, or 6 lines. If it is getting more than 4, 5, 6 lines, just use center left alignment. So yeah, um, okay. These are the last set of things I'm going to do here. Avoid stretching your font. Do not stretch your font. If you have to use stretch fonts, so all you just need to do is come to Google and search for stretched font, or you search for, can you see straight font? Or you just search for wide font. So you can click on any link that is there. Click on this link. So, and you can see fonts that are stretched. Now you don't need to stretch your font. So you can use this font if you need to have something that is stretched. Do we understand? So do not stretch your font. So you see, ouch, that hurts. If you do that, you're going to give me flesh tears and break my tendons. So you don't stretch your font. Then um on the same plane, you do not condense your font. Do not condense your font. Oh my, I think I have a dozen fractures and probably I punctured lung. I think I need a VAT start. So instead of condensing your font, just come to Google again and search for condensed font. So just click any link that is in here, click on condensed font. It's going to bring you to a website and you can easily use any of these. So you can even customize your text and see how it looks from here before you download it. So these are condensed fonts. So instead of condensing your brown font, just look for a condensed font. So yay, see, yay, that's better. There's no stretching, there's no condensing, and then you wouldn't want to break your font, right? So yeah, before you post anything, check these three things. Are you using too many fonts? If you are using too many fonts, cut it down. Is there a clear hierarchy? Yani, is a message, is it easily accessible? Can people say it within 8 seconds? Is everything, I mean, you're adding or like the message you're trying to pass, is everything easy to read? If you pass these three things, then your design, your post is good to go. Your design is good to go. So always remember, you use fewer fonts, you create clear hierarchy, and then you prioritize readability. So thank you very much for having me. So if you have questions, I'll be happy to take them. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Engineer Rahman, for this brilliant presentation. But for me, I still have one doubt, and I would like to have some clarity. And what is the one key principle that I mean, from your experience, one
Okay.
principle uh, that everyone should remember before starting a design? At least you should have it at the back of your mind before you start design. What is the one key
Okay.
principle? Yeah.
Okay. The key principle that you should have before you start any design is that know that you are trying to pass a message. Know that you are trying to pass a message. So that's why I said if you have too many content, you see too many content and it has a lot of content and people might not be able to like relate with it. Just cut it down and stick to the one that is important to put on your design. And in your caption, put the remaining text and the remaining descriptions and everything like that. Then another thing that can help you when you are doing your design is to look for inspiration before you start your own design. Look for inspiration from people that have been in your industry. And how do you look for inspiration? So you go to Pinterest. So Pinterest is not just for you to search for shoes. It's not just for you to search for, dress codes or like dress inspirations or bags or hennas or stuff like that. So if you look at my own Pinterest board, you see different styles there. You see designs, photo manipulations, there are packagings, even dresses because I like to dress. There are slides because I like slides. You see cars because I like cars. So you can use a Pinterest for so I have different boards, motion graphics, portfolio inspo, poster, brand design, introvert. So you can create a board for yourself. Create a board. If you see something, it's called a swipe file. Swipe file. So a swipe file is when you see anything that you like, you screenshot, then you put it in your swipe file. So the swiper is going to help you if you need something. Maybe somebody sees it on the road. Let's say for instance you're a fashion designer now, and then somebody wants to ask you that do you have a style for me? So you just go inside your swipe file that you have for fashion designs, and then you pick one from it instead of going through all your screenshots one by one. So the same thing before you start your design, look for inspiration in your industry. See how people are going to have done. See the type of fonts they have used. So it's going to give you the type of fonts, the type of colors, and everything that you can. But be mindful not to copy somebody else's work. Be mindful not to copy somebody else's work. I hope I have answered your question, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. If you have a question, please drop it in the chat room, and if you want to use the mic, you have the floor. I can give you the mic, then you can talk directly to the instructor. Yeah. So if you have a question, raise up your hand, or let me check the chat room. Is there any question before we move to the next stage?
Hello, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank everybody that showed up for today's class and staying with us till the end. It shows that you are serious about learning and investing in yourself. I hope anybody can hear me.
Yes, I can. We can hear you. Let me represent everyone. We can
So
hear you.
today you've seen that graphic design is not just about making beautiful flyers. There is more to it. It is a skill that can actually help you build a brand, attract clients to your business, and even create another source of income for yourself. So, as valuable as today's class has been, we've only scratched the surface, because I believe typography is not the only aspect in graphic design that you need to learn. There's still a lot to learn about graphic design. So there is only so much that we can cover in one free session, just like we did now. Becoming confident in graphic design, it will take you guided practice, feedbacks from people that are already good in the industry, and a structured learning path. So that's exactly why we have created our complete graphic design class. It is designed to take you from beginner to someone who can confidently create professional design step by step. So after this master class, there is a further class that you can enroll for, just like it's showing on the screen. So um, imagine a few weeks of you, like from now, being able to confidently design social media posts, because I'm very sure that from what our speaker has said, from everything that he has taught us in class today, there are some people that don't know about these things at all, or you might even know about it and not be very, very like good with it, but now you've learned better. So imagine you being able to like design social media posts, flyers, just like even the one you are seeing on your screen, logos and presentation for yourself. or for your clients, paying clients that will pay you. So that's the journey we are trying to invite you to now. When you look at your screen, you see there, some of you may be thinking I'm a beginner. That's okay. It's very, very fine. This class is designed for beginners. If you are an intermediate, somebody, or you want to advance, this is designed for you. Others may be wondering that if they have enough time or something, the class is actually structured in a way that you can learn progressively and balance your schedule. So if you are not available for the live class, there is always recordings. So you can go through the flyer on the screen very well to be able to see the details of the class properly. So you'll be able to learn like according to your schedule. So it is not something that requires you to be always there. If you are not there, there will be recorded sessions. So registration is open now. We are ready to continue your learning. You can always contact us through the group, send interested, and we'll send you the registration link and guide you through the payment and enrollment process. So, so you can always drop whatever questions you also have. If you don't have any question for now, or maybe there is something you would like to tell us privately, we are always there on the group. So thank you so much for attending this free session with us. We appreciate you, and we can't wait to have you all further in the next class. Thank you.
Thank you for that quick presentation as regarding the proper class. This is just a day presentation, and if you want to join the class, you can talk to any of the admin in the group, and then you will definitely get into the proper class. Also a quick one, I would like to show us one quick video.
Education today is everywhere, but is it really shaping our children for this world and the next? Parents want strong academics, youth wants modern skills, and every Muslim heart longs for guidance through faith. Welcome to PowerX Online Academy, the first online Muslim academy where K-12 education, IT and digital skills, and Islamic studies come together in one holistic learning journey. From science and mathematics to coding, digital literacy, and leadership, to Quran, Sunnah, and Islamic values. We nurture not just students, but confident believers and future leaders. Every class is engaging, every skill is practical, every lesson connects back to who we are, Muslims with purpose. This is more than school. It is the future of Muslim education rooted in faith, powered by knowledge, and equipped for the digital age. Kindly contact us via the details displayed on the screen for more information.
So that is for X Online Academy, where we take education very, very, very important. And more so, going back to the main discussion for today, which has to do with the masterclass in graphic design. If you want to join the class, it is open, and you can message or give your feedback or your concern or your comment in the WhatsApp group if it is required. Thank you for coming. We have to stop now. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.